Hello everyone, welcome to the Autoimmune Dietitian YouTube channel. My name is Annie. I'm a registered dietitian and I work mainly with clients who are struggling with autoimmune diseases. In my work with my clients, I help them use both food and lifestyle as a way to improve their symptoms and hopefully help them live their lives as they wish. So today we are talking about exercise intolerance. It is a very common side effect of autoimmune diseases and it makes any form of movement virtually impossible. And this is such a problem because exercise can be super beneficial for these conditions. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the causes of exercise intolerance, what it looks like, and how to recover from it. Before I jump in, I just need to attach a disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not the substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for informational purposes only, so please consult your qualified health professional for any changes you make to your medical care. That includes exercise. Please make sure that you do speak with your medical provider about any form of exercise routine that you plan to start or are continuing with. So what causes exercise intolerance? Well, it's basically caused by something called mitochondrial dysfunction. If you remember from high school biology, the mitochondria is a cell organelle that generates energy. Most of our body's energy is generated through a process called cellular respiration, which happens within the mitochondria. And cellular respiration takes all the nutrients we eat and converts it to adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, which is the body's usable form of energy. So mitochondrial dysfunction occurs when the mitochondria cannot produce enough energy for the body to function. This can happen for a number of reasons, and many of these reasons happen to overlap with the common root causes of autoimmune diseases. For one, chronic stress has been shown to decrease energy production within the mitochondria. Exposure to environmental toxins and drugs are also linked to the mitochondrial dysfunction. Additionally, researchers have found a link between mitochondrial dysfunction and autoimmune diseases. It appears that defective mitochondria can activate the immune system and overproduce inflammatory proteins. So, therefore, if you have mitochondrial dysfunction, the body won't have enough energy to function normally, and the mitochondria will obviously not be efficient. And this can lead to generalized fatigue, which is very common in autoimmune diseases, but it can also impair one's ability to exercise. So there are a wide range of symptoms from exercise intolerance. The basic underlying theme is that exercise triggers a reaction in the body that goes above and beyond what normal exercise and movement should cause. And again, there's no test for this. You can't go to the doctor and request a blood test for exercise intolerance. So it's kind of like a case-by-case basis. A lot of this is self-observation. But basically, again, anything that doesn't seem normal following exercise should be investigated. So normal exercise should not cause fatigue and soreness that lasts more than 1 to 2 days. For someone who has a normal functioning mitochondria, they can exercise back to back without any issues. Exercise intolerance is different. So for some people, this could look like extreme fatigue and soreness for more than 1 day following exercise. This could include the inability to do back-to-back days of exercise. For others, they could have a visceral reaction to exercise, including things like vomiting, nausea, blurred vision, flu-like symptoms, and autoimmune flares. So the range of intolerance also varies. So you might be fine with long walks, but anything that raises your heart rate could set you back for days. Others cannot tolerate even basic movements like walking or yoga. So how do you recover from exercise intolerance? Well, unfortunately, like most things, there is no easy fix for this. It takes a combination of general healing for autoimmune diseases, targeted dietary therapy, and of course, rest. So here are my top tips for overcoming exercise intolerance. Like any healing process, uncovering the root cause is really important. Since many of the triggers for mitochondrial dysfunction overlap with root causes of autoimmune diseases, it's really best to start addressing those first. Whether it's chronic stress, exposures to toxins, low-grade inflammation, or overexercise to begin with, these triggers need to be considered and worked on. Next, it takes a slow uphill climb to restore exercise function, and that's not to sound mean or, discouraging, but it's going to take a while for you to get back to where you were. So first you need to understand what your limits are for exercise. How much movement can you actually tolerate without getting overly exhausted, without triggering those exercise intolerance symptoms? So once you find your limit, you need to then slowly build on that amount. The key here is to not push it. You do not want, to be fatigued for 3 days and then, kind of go back and think that's normal. Like, you need to be able to exercise, wake up the next morning and feel okay. So you cannot push it. We want to avoid as many setbacks as possible. Now, lastly, through this entire process, you really need to listen to your body. Throw out any sort of exercise plan, like throw that out the window. This is a day-by-day assessment. And so to overcome exercise intolerance, you really have to, listen to your body and assess how much you think you can handle on every given day. If you wake up feeling tired, the last thing you want to do is push it, which is why setting up like a weekly exercise plan is not beneficial, because then if you wake up tired and you can't do it, you're going to feel guilty and you're going to feel bad and you're more likely to push it. So don't do that. This is a very hard mental adjustment for a lot of people, especially if you are a regular exerciser. Believe that you will get back to where you were, but it will take some time, some patience, and a lot of self-love. So can diet help? Obviously, I wouldn't be talking about this if diet didn't play a role in exercise intolerance, because I'm a dietitian and food always plays a role in everything. So your mitochondria do require specific nutrients to function properly. In addition, following an anti-inflammatory diet is also super important for your autoimmune disease and your mitochondrial health. So here are some specific nutrients that you're going to want to focus on. The first one are antioxidants. So given that the mitochondria is impacted by inflammation, it's really important to have plenty of antioxidants in your diet to help capture those free radicals that are floating around your body. In addition, your mitochondria, as it is producing energy, it's also producing these reactive oxygen species or free radicals. So you need to have antioxidants to balance that out. Some of the best sources of antioxidants are found in colorful fruits and vegetables. B vitamins. So B vitamins play a major role in energy production and mitochondrial health. In fact, there's a correlation between mitochondria and methylation requires a number of B vitamins, including folate, B12, B6, and thiamine. So the best sources of B vitamins are from green leafy vegetables and animal protein, nuts and seeds, and of course, organ meats. The next one is selenium. So this mineral is another important player in reducing oxidative stress. It can be found in Brazil nuts, chicken, eggs, and pork. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet. So protein is made up of amino acids, and amino acids are needed to produce antioxidant enzymes, again, to fight inflammation and those reactive oxygen species. So diets low in protein can impact mitochondrial function in a negative way, so you need to make sure that you do have enough protein in your diet. It can be found in both animal sources like, meat, chicken, other poultry, fish, pork, and then you can also have plant-based sources of protein like beans, grains, nuts, and seeds. So just to recap today, we focused on exercise intolerance, what causes it, what are some signs and symptoms of it, and how you can start overcoming it. If you need more help managing your autoimmune disease, your exercise intolerance, inflammation, I would love to chat with you. I offer free 15-minute discovery calls to learn about your goals. You can find that booking link in my YouTube profile. You can also check out my website, annierubin.com. I have lots of materials for you that you can download for free, like a bunch of free guides. There's also my very extensive blog that has lots of information there for you, so please check that out. And then lastly, if you are interested in my weekly newsletter, again, I'm just trying to give a lot of information to you so you can live better with your autoimmune disease. So that is in my weekly newsletter that comes to your inbox every Thursday. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, please hit the little subscribe button. I do try to put out videos every week, just trying to give you lots of helpful tips to help you live better. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.